last time the ball was that high, I caught it with my hands. The last time they cheered, I ran as fast as I can. Some screamed at the TV, others screamed from the stands. Some screamed from my teammates. They knew the plan. Once upon a time I dreamed that I would have the chance. Some people never see that dream. At least I got a glance. Always remember, if you ever get the chance, hold on to that dream for as long as you can.
You have now accessed a complicated production.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jay. Welcome to another episode of Plugged In with Jay. I am here with one of the most electrifying former running backs for the New York Giants, probably one of the best return specialists in the game, David Wilson. My man, thank you so much for being on the show.
Glad to be here.
Pleasure's ours, man. Pleasure's ours. So what I want to get into real quick is something that whenever I reached out to you for the interview, I noticed that you are quite the beat mechanic. That's a lot of people know you for all your NFL accolades and stuff, and as a return specialist and the 2011 ACC Offensive Player of the Year. But man, when I tell everybody that you've got some beats and stuff that you can lay it down, they're all impressed, man. What got you into that?
Yeah, so after my football career, I was just able to tap in more into my artistic side.
My heart actually hurts. Physically, there's pain when I breathe. Most of the pain is in the back. Most of the pain is behind me. My heart actually hurts. I feel close. Am I close to dying? The pain in the front, a slight pain from my heart, constantly trying. But most of the pain is in the back. Most of the pain is behind me.
Art school, and of course took the athletic approach, of course, and excelled in that, being All-American in high school and college, and then going on to the NFL. And basically, once my career came to an end due to my neck injury, the doctors forced me to retire. And as I mentioned, I went to art school growing up, so I was able to have more time to really tap into that side of me. And basically, it had never left, but I had more time to really express it. And went to a music session with my brother, and to a studio session, and was seeing what it took to make music, and seeing all the equipment, and seeing the procedure. But basically, what they was doing was they was getting the beats from YouTube, and then that's kind of how I was taught. So I was getting my beats from YouTube and just working with what I could find. But I'd say 2015, I recorded my first song, and I realized that wasn't really what I wanted to hear. Even though my friends loved the song, it didn't feel like me. And I was like, how can I get it more like me? And that's when I knew I had to make my own beats, so this raw version of me can come all the way through, and I can kind of cater to my lyrics more precisely by doing my own thing. So in 2017, or 2015 rather, I started teaching myself, built the studio. And by 2017, I had taught myself how to make beats, record my vocals, and compose this music that you hear. So on the albums that I have 3 albums out now. If you search David E. Wilson, you can find those. But basically, I taught myself how to compose music and hook all this stuff up, compressors and reverb, and just wiring everything up. It took a lot. So it was a lot of time put into it. And then basically I learned how to do it, and now I'm recording my own songs, and I can do it just like that.
Yeah, man. That's fantastic. Yeah, I was my wife and I were listening to you a little bit of it earlier, and I know I sent you that video, listening to 4 Deep Water. I like that. Yeah. That's a feel-good kind of beat, man. I listen to that when I'm trying to work sometimes. I like it.
Thanks.
So something I've noticed too is the number 4 is pretty prevalent in like I see in your social media handles, all your track. I mean, what is the number? Is that pretty significant for you? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so number 4, I wore number 4 at Virginia Tech, and I wore that in honor of my mom. That's her favorite number. So
Mhm.
basically, it's my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle. 4 still running, and that number 4 basically means the reason I put it in front of my music is when the listeners are locked in with me, listening to the song, I want them to be boxed in. So it was like a square has 4 sides. So I want them to be
Okay.
trapped in with me in the moment, whether they're hiking, working out, or riding their car. I want their ears to be mine, and they can enjoy and be in that vibe with me.
Yeah. Okay. Getting deep. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
so I hear the voice of someone on your tracks. Is that normally you, or do you have anybody that records with you?
Yeah. So I think I only had one feature, 1 or 2 features ever, and basically everything else is me. You might hear my family or my kids on one
Oh,
song
cool.
called "For Family." And for output, you might hear my wife at the beginning. But basically, everything else, all the lyrics and verses and choruses are me taking different approaches, uh, whether I'm singing or rapping or just harmonizing with myself. That's the effect that you hear coming through. And that's the learning to record the vocals that I was talking about earlier. So that
Yeah.
was also a learning process and something I had to do, as well as layering my beats and knowing how to compose beats.
That's awesome, man. I like that. I like that a lot. So when you were a kid, I know whenever I was a kid in high school, I would kind of get in trouble for it a lot, but I would always make the beats like with the with the
Yeah,
pen,
yeah, yeah, on the desk.
like with
Yeah, yeah,
shots and
beatboxing.
everything. Was that
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I used to do that in school as well.
Yeah.
uh, I even incorporate some of that into my music. Sometimes I'm recording, I layer my songs, and I
Okay.
might end up using something like natural like that, and then just once it's recorded, I can do whatever I want with it to make it fit the song and
Yeah.
make it sound like something completely different.
Okay. Now,
Yeah,
so I know you have some lyrics and things like that. I mean, would you consider yourself a lyricist? I mean, are you wanting to like more record more albums or more tracks with you actually rapping and spitting lines on them?
yeah. So basically, I consider myself a lyricist. I write my own lyrics. But when we say lyricist, I wouldn't say like Nas or Kendrick Lamar or Eminem. More so, my music is more so of a feeling or
Sure. Okay.
emotion that I want to come across, and the words that I choose are selected wisely and to relay positivity, and so people can feel that feeling, even if it's a sad song or a negative topic. I'm always trying to inspire people to push through and be positive and see the bright side and be optimistic. So when I record my music, I always think about the lyrics. So 20 years from now, when I'm listening to these songs, I'm not ashamed of anything that I said. And I want that emotion to come across as positive.
Absolutely, man. That's a great message. That's a great
Yeah.
message.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can definitely feel it that the way that whenever, like I was saying, Four Deep Water is probably one of my favorite tracks that you've got. Got that off of iTunes, ladies and gentlemen. And
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
make sure to let everybody know where they can go to hear your music. And they can even purchase beats. You know what? I'll just go with it right now. WilsonStillRunning.com. If you go there, you can purchase beats from my man. You can listen to all of his new music. He's got a new album just released, Far From Normal. Definitely go hit that up. You can get them on all major formats, really, on iTunes. I just caught mine the other day, so
Yeah, thanks
definitely
for the
get after it.
support, man.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. And it's not just
Yeah.
because you're doing an interview. It's after I heard it, I enjoy it, man. You definitely got some talent.
Thanks,
I
boss.
can hear exactly what you're talking about in all your music. It's from in here. It's felt. It's not just something to be put out. It's good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, man. Seriously. So I I used to play ball in college basketball, and
Okay.
it was really tough after I stopped playing to get back into the game and really watch it and enjoy it. So here come a few football questions. Um,
Yeah.
how does it feel whenever you watch now? I mean, after going through what you went through with the injuries and everything like that, are you able to get into the game as much as you used to?
Yeah, like around 2014, 2015, watching the game. I remember turning on the game. Uh, I think it was 2015. I turned on the game and I was watching it from home after I was forced to retire. And I'm looking at it like, yo, I used to be out there doing that. These guys are running full speed into each other. Like, I was kind of like on edge, like they're gonna get hurt. They're gonna get hurt. They better stop.
I bet.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a traumatizing effect. But that also made it fun and appreciative to know that I was out there and excelling and being elite on that level. Like I'm watching on TV now, like even on Sunday when I turn on TV, just kind of reminisce of like, yeah, I used to be out there and I actually made and achieved one of the goals that I set out before myself. So, yeah, that was definitely fun. And, yeah, I still love watching football, still enjoy it, still got my favorite players that I root for and favorite teams, and so on. So, yeah, I'm all in.
Who are some of those favorite players, man? I gotta hear. I bet they'd like to hear it too if they even pay attention to my show.
Yeah. So Michael Vick, growing up, Michael Vick, of course, I like watching Michael Vick.
Oh yeah.
And Eli Manning, I got to play with him. So these are people that I grew up watching, like Clinton Portis and Tiki Barber. Mm-hmm. But then also you got LaDainian Tomlinson, and then people that's playing now that I like watching is Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley.
Oh yeah.
Odell Beckham and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody out like I probably got a favorite player on every team almost.
I got you. Yeah, man. I'm a Saints fan, as you can see right here. And
that's what it says. Super Bowl champions 2009. I always thought that was your bowl. You say you played college basketball, and I was very sad. I didn't know they had bowl games in
no.
No. Let's go. Where did you go to college?
Oh man, I was in Texas at the time. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but we were living in Texas. Almost went to University of Texas, but decided to go to Concordia. It's a Division II school that leads into UT because a lot of politics went into me not getting on the team at UT. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Stay in town, near the family and stuff. So went to school there, left, and just been doing whatever ever since, man.
I feel you.
Some classes and stuff in, sports broadcasting and marketing, management, things like that. So hopefully one day this can turn into something that I can support my family with, So
You're doing a great job.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Y'all heard it first. Sure. David Wilson says I did a good job. You only need to hire me.
Yeah.
Now, as I was showing you that right there, being a Saints fan, I'm sure you remember the game.
Oh man, the Saints game.
You toasted us, man.
That's ironic, right?
Yeah, it's the guy who. Okay, I'm originally a big fantasy football buff. Like I do fantasy football analysis and stuff like that, but I also do this because I want to be able to get some stories out of football players and pro ball players and management, anybody who's willing to come on the show and give everybody your story so they can know you as a person instead of just a ball player. Now, I know we're leading into some ball playing and stuff like that, but I had you on my fantasy team that year, and you won that week for me, but you killed my Saints, man. I mean, when I looked at that, I was like, because I remember that game. You had 100 rushing yards with 2 rushing touchdowns, and this is 227 return yards with a returning touchdown. That was –
at one point you had to be like, that's enough fantasy points.
I'm saying.
That's enough.
You won the week for me. Stop. Y'all ended up killing us like 52-27, man. I mean.
Yeah, I remember that game vividly. So that's one of the memories that I carry with me for life.
I bet you do. You do, man. I also saw a stat that I needed to make sure this was true because this is insane. That same year, you had 57 kick returns for 1,533 yards. Is that?
Yeah. I think it's a Giants record.
Yeah. It is. It is.
Yeah.
I figured that was going to be a record period. Like, that's just unbelievable, man. Like, I looked up your stats. I mean, you'd be a top 10 running back drafted now in fantasy football big time. Like, for real. Have you ever played fantasy football?
I I did some like promotion with FanDuel.
Okay.
And then I know a guy that got an app, a fantasy app, football app, Prize Picks.
Okay, yeah.
I'm familiar with that one. But basically he built that app, and pretty good app. But it's called Prize Picks.
Okay.
Yeah, and but basically I never really played fantasy football. As a player, I kind of like stayed on the playing, like I'm a player kind of thing. I know it's like people in the locker room, they probably have fantasy football teams or like something like that. Or ex-players really like it or get into it. But I never really got into it to understand it fully. I just know you can win money, and you can bet on certain players. And you kind of like, you put your team together, and first downs equal points, stuff like that, touchdowns equal points.
Yeah, a number of ways to score points. I mean, you do it, like I do it more for camaraderie with some guys I work with, which is my quote-unquote league of record. It's like if you ever hear that, it's the main league that somebody has that they pay the most attention to. But doing what I do now, I'm in like 12, and I'm never going to do that again. It's exhausting. it's exhausting. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. I know you have kids. That's something that a lot of families do together and try it out. It's a blast whenever you get stuff like that. But I understand being a player, it would be kind of tough. But it's always fascinating to me just to ask players if they've ever been into it. Like I asked Marcus Allen, and he was like, "No." It's like, I get it, and I totally into it. If it brings people to the game and makes you bigger fans and stuff, that's great. But he's never played with it.
Yeah, it's a way to connect with the fans and people that maybe it's somebody that just likes betting and they don't really like care too much about sports. It gotta bring them to the game, and it's a way for the fans to connect with the players. Being a player, sometimes I used to get like tweets like, "Man, you killed my fantasy," like, and they'll be upset that I didn't perform well, and I'm like, "You what? You worried about fantasy points, and we just lost like a big game." How do you think I feel? But at the same time, being away from the game and being more mature, I see that there's definitely a different aspect of the game that definitely helps connect fans and make the fans feel a part of it.
Right.
I never played it, but like hearing your passion behind it and seeing other people's passion behind it, it definitely makes them feel like they're a part of it and they have something in it as well. So it makes the game more interesting overall. Yeah,
that's very true. It brings a lot of fans to the game, I've noticed. Like when I was growing up, I was always a football fan, but it really, whenever I got invited to my first fantasy football league, that's when it really jumped up. Like I became a big fan of Ahmad Bradshaw. And a lot of the backfield for the Giants, and that's what made me think about you. I was like, man, I got to reach out to this guy and see what's going on, see how he's doing. And then I see that you're doing music and everything, and that's what I really wanted to touch on, man. Something I wanted to ask that was something. The first thing that popped into my mind. Do you have anybody you're wanting to do a collaboration with, or do you want to do any collaborations?
Yeah, I would love to do a collaboration with like Kanye West or Pharrell Williams or Kid Cudi. These are some of the artists that I really admire that I can still have the chance to work with. Okay. But I know these guys are busy guys, and I'm just kind of getting started out and getting my feet wet. So maybe one day, you never know.
Hey, man. Marcus Allen said something to me. You're rich on what you give and you're poor on what you keep. And what you just said is exactly what you're doing for me, my man. Seriously. Coming on my show and giving me the opportunity to interview you, get to know you, and put your story out there, and get my feet wet, so to speak. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be tagging those dudes in this big time. Like, I'm gonna see if hear this, man, for real. I'm gonna get that set up. I mean, they'll probably look at me and be like, "Who's this clown?" But still, looking at you and knowing who you are, they might be like, "Hey, man, this dude wants to. Okay, let's get a collab going." I've got a good buddy of mine who does beats and things like that. His name's Complicated Kai. He's going to be the one editing our video. He's very good at what he does, man. He likes your stuff a lot. Yeah. Oh man, thanks. Yeah, maybe we can connect. Yeah, and maybe I can get you some more athletes. Yeah. Oh man, I'd love that. I'll get your name out there. If I can get you Kanye, get me anybody, man. I'll take whoever. Yeah, when I told everybody I'm getting to interview you, I was excited. I was really excited that you reached back out, and then the response alone means so much to people. And the fact that you're willing to do this shows what kind of person you are, and that's big to me. And that's big to a lot of the people that watch my show, listen to my podcast and stuff, and getting to speak to you, man. I can see the passion and stuff that you have with music, and and how
Yeah.
good of a person you are. And it's awesome to actually see whenever you know a pro athlete who's got a good heart. It's excellent.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I love it. I love it, especially when I heard you was a fan. Like I love connecting with the fans and interacting with the people that appreciate what I'm doing. And yeah, it's my honor for real.
Excellent, man. Awesome. So we've got. I always ask my guests one question that if you can think of something, awesome. If not, I get it. It's all right. I know a lot of stuff goes on. Do you have anything, any story, any anecdote, anything in your time as a player, time as an artist, family man, anything that you think would be a good story for the listeners to hear to get to know Mr. David Wilson a little bit better?
It's a couple stories. So I can give you a couple things right off, right? All right. So in college, I drove a 78 Ford Thunderbird. And it was on 24-inch rims.
Woo!
And it was on ESPN. So if you might YouTube David Wilson's car, Virginia Tech or something, it'll pop up. And
right.
Also now I have a 1963 Oldsmobile. So I'm like a classic car guy. I like that kind of stuff. Another thing is if you're familiar with Virginia Tech, the Castle Coliseum, I ran up the arches. So it's like these arches that go up like almost 300 feet in the air. And they like maybe 3 feet wide. So I ran up to the top of Castle Coliseum with that. Wow. And then I remember being pranked by Eli.
Okay.
So being drafted to the New York Giants, I was drafted to the New York Giants. And basically Eli Manning is a prankster. So people don't know that about him. Everybody don't know that about him. But if you play football with him, you know. So he got all the rookies. He had got all the rookies. He hadn't got around to me yet. So one day after practice, I come to my locker, and my stuff is soaking wet. Like my shoes, my hoodie, my shorts, everything is soaking wet, right? And he just walks past the locker, and he's like, "Oh, man, what happened? Somebody got you." And then one of the running backs, I'm not going to name drop because then he'll be labeled a snitch. But he was like, "Man, I know who did that. I know who did that to you."
Did you retaliate?
And then I was like, "I'm going to get him back."
Yeah.
So I was like, "I'm going to get him back. I got to get him back." Because I was hot, right? And then I remember my running back coach, he was like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And I was like, "What do you mean don't do that? He do it to me. I can do it to him."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, he has way more money than you." He's worth way more than you, and he got a lot more money than you. And then so that basically being said, I knew that pranking Eli, it could go on and on and on and on forever, right? And I'll probably run out of money before he will. So I left it at that.
That's awesome, man. He got a bunch of other people, huh? Did he get anybody else?
Oh, man, he got a lot of people.
I remember the commercials whenever Saquon started, and he started, like, tricking them into buying them Snickers or something like that out of the vending machine. I saw that. That's a little play on.
Oh, yeah, the commercial.
Yeah,
That's the kind of stuff he would do all the time. He do that kind of stuff all the time in real life. So, yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with any of your old teammates?
You said what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you still keep in touch with any of your old teammates?
Yeah, Ruben Randall. So me and Ruben Randall, good friends.
Yeah.
And he was in my wedding. And our kids play together, and we keep in touch. And we always talking football and talking about life. And, yeah, that's one of my closest friends.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Ruben Randall, man. I love
him. From Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I got to get him on the show. I got to tell him to hit you up.
Make it happen, man. Let's go. I'll get Kanye and Kid Cudi. I got you. We go.
But anybody you know that you feel like has musical talent, send them my way. Maybe I can help them, or they can help me, or
Absolutely,
I will
do that. Kai is definitely somebody I will get in touch with you for sure. I sent him, and one thing, you got a Christmas album now.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm a Christmas fanatic, and I was playing it, and my wife was like, "Are you listening to Christmas music right now?" I'm listening to David Wilson's Christmas album.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
I'll be promoting that.
Trust.
Yeah, I'll be promoting that again during Christmas. So when you put up your Christmas tree and decking the halls, definitely put that on blast. You have a great time.
I'll make sure to post a video of it for real. I'll make sure that people get an earful of that for real. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Is Christmas something big to you? Are you a big Christmas fan?
Yeah. So I get in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, I really get in the Christmas spirit. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, man. I do the same thing.
Some of the greatest memories are around that time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All my favorite memories from whenever I was a kid growing up, man. We lived in Alaska for a little while, so it got snowy, you know.
Oh yeah.
So I miss snow around Christmas time. I'm in Atlanta now, so it's. I think it snowed right before we moved here.
Oh, okay.
Like real heavy.
Yeah. Oh, you're in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta too. Yeah, we got to link up.
Face, man.
Yeah.
We got the Rona going around, but I'm fine. I'm not sick.
Yeah.
Well, David Wilson, I cannot thank you enough for being on the show. It has been just an honor to have you, man. It's been awesome to know you more.
My pleasure,
I will definitely be keeping in touch with you, my friend. And I'm going to be working on getting Kanye and Kid Cudi and everybody, man. You work on getting I got you. But everybody needs to go to wilsonstillrunning.com. Check out my buddy's music, his new album that just came out, Far From Normal. All of his old stuff, too. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Like, seriously, For Deep Water. That's the track for me, man. I still got to get into the rest of your album, the new one. So I'm going to start listening to it as soon as we get off here. And go get a training session in and listen to it. So
all right,
I appreciate you being with me, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. It's my honor.
All right, my man.
Tune in. This is where it's at. The Fantasy Football Plug Podcast. You know that we got it popping. Oh, yeah, that's apparent. Got a shout out to my homie, one and only Jay.